Welcome to the FnF Victory Road Draft League Season 2 Losers Quarterfinals set between Emberhoof's team, which is Rio Grande Rapidash, and Morgana's team, which is Northern Necrozmas. This is the second battle of the set, so if you have not watched the first battle, I highly recommend you go do it. It was a very intense one, very exciting match, and there will be a spoiler right now, so go watch that first battle if you haven't. So the winner of the first battle was Emberhoof, Rio Grande Rapidash, with a score of 1-0 over Morgana, which makes the set score also 1-0 in his favor. Ember has to win one more in order to advance onto the the losers semifinals, and Morgana has to win one if he wants to bring this to a game 3. So, as a reminder, the Z Pokemon available are Z Tornadus Therian, Z Any, and Crocodile with Z Attack. On Morgana's team, we have Z Any Necrozma, and we have Mega Garchomp also on Morgana's team. In terms of changes, no changes were made on Emberhoof's team. On Morgana's team, we had Virizion switched for Necrozma. Otherwise, it is the complete same roster. Of course, there might be changes in the movesets, natures, EVs, IVs, items, you name it, abilities, but in terms of Pokemon, only one Pokemon has changed, so I think that the game plans are going to be relatively the same as last time, and I do think we'll probably see a Trick Room again. Necrozma was definitely a good switch for Morgana. Crocodile can take it down, but it does deal with some of the problem Pokemon for him in the last match pretty well, such as Breloom and Musharna. So it will be an asset, I think, for sure. So thank you for watching. This is going to be an exciting one, and let's begin. In terms of lead, I don't think we'll see Crocodile as a lead this time. Maybe Tornadus Therian as a lead for Emberhoof. In terms of leads for Morgana, I'm going to guess maybe Necrozma to set up Stealth Rock early, or Mega Garchomp to set up Stealth Rock early. One big question is going to be what changes were made on the individual Pokemon themselves, such as items and movesets. I do think we'll probably see Gengar sporting a Sash this time around instead of the Life Orb. If it had a Sash, I do think Morgana would have been able to possibly take it. I'm not 100% sure, but that would have helped him a lot. We also might see maybe some different investment. Breloom is a big question because it might be slow for the Trick Room, but it might be fast to outspeed some of the threats to it, such as bulky Conkeldurr and Primarina. So I'm not sure what Breloom's investment is going to be. That's going to be an interesting thing to explore. It was faster than Primarina and Conkeldurr last time. I'm wondering if any of the speed investments changed, or maybe if Morgana has made his Pokemon a little bit better, more equipped to handling Trick Room. Alright, it looks like we're beginning. Indeed, we do see Tornadus, and we see Aerith the Primarina starting. Majin Buu the Tornadus. Tornadus can go for a Hurricane, but it's probably not going to want to take an Ice Beam. Depending on its bulk, it might be able to take an attack, but Primarina is quite the big threat. Again, Primarina is very advantaged in this matchup in the fact that nothing resists Moonblast. So we see the Air Slash go for the first move. It's going to flinch Primarina, causing it to take 28 damage and lose its turn. And Jules Verne, the Lantern, is going to come in for safe measure. And Ice Beam is indeed the move that's used on Lantern. It does do a chunky 25%, which is surprising. This might be a Specs Pre-Marina, or it could be an uninvested Lantern. I'm going to guess that it's the former. If it's the former, we will probably see Pre-Marina. Even if it's not the former, we'll probably see Pre-Marina switch out. Because it can't go for a Moonblast, and it's not going to want to keep firing off weak Ice Beams against Lantern, who could threaten it with some electric moves. Zeraora could be an answer to come in to face this Lantern, considering it has Volt Absorb. Garchomp could also be a reasonable answer as well. Lantern now no longer has its Air Balloon, so Garchomp will be able to do some big damage to Lantern if the prediction is right. There's a lot of Pokemon that could come in on Lantern. It does look like Zeraora is the one who comes in, and the Toxic is going to get Zeraora, and it is now Toxic. Lantern does have access to Volt Absorb, so Zeraora pretty much has to go for the close combat. I mean, it can go for Volt Absorb, but it's more likely that we'll see it go for close combat or knockoff. And Lantern is just going to go for the Scald, trying to predict a switch in, or maybe trying to make Jet Setter have a harder time. Jet Setter probably going to need to switch out if it is Scarfed. This is going to be the moment of truth. If it's not Scarfed, then it can choose to close combat Lantern, but if it is Scarfed, it's going to have to switch out. Either way, I think it will try to switch out, but nothing's going to want to come in and take its Scald except maybe Necrozma. Necrozma, I do think, is the best answer in this scenario. Maybe Pre-Marina, considering Lantern's not going to go for the Volt Switch or Discharge versus Jet Setter, but Lantern does have a lot of coverage. It doesn't hit that hard, but Morgana's really going to have to decide who comes in to face this Lantern, especially considering it's using Scald. Actually, he goes for another knockoff, which is interesting. Lantern continues to go for that Scald, bringing Jet Setter down to 7% and Toxic. I think Morgana's going to want to hang on to Jet Setter. No Stealth Rocks have gone up yet, so Jet Setter still can come in later and deliver a fast, decisive blow against something, and he does decide to do that. Conkeldurr is the one who comes in, and an Ice Beam's going to hit Dumban. It only does about 11%. This could very possibly be an Assault Vest Conkeldurr, and nothing really switches in comfortably to Conkeldurr, especially if it has knockoff. Lantern is going to have to decide its options right now. Score is still 6-6, but Zeraora has been brought down quite a lot. Lantern, of course, is not going to want to Scald Dunban because of the fact that it most likely has Guts. It can also have Sheer Force and Iron Fist, but it most likely carries Guts. That's the most common thing we see on Conkeldurr. So Scald hits, it does not burn, and the Drain Punch is going to take out Lantern while also bringing Dunban back to a whopping 98%. Tornadus Therian is the next Pokemon to come in. Of course, an Air Slash or Hurricane will hurt it quite a lot, but if this is an Assault Vest Dunban, which I think it might be, then it might be able to retaliate with a Stone Edge or a knockoff or something else. Of course, at this point, nothing's going to want to switch into a strong flying move. If Zeraora does, it will go down unless the move misses. And Air Slash is going to hit, doing 50% to Dunban, who flinches. Once again, we see that flinch. It hits. Dunban probably won't be able to take one more Air Slash. It all depends on the roll. Morgana not getting lucky with that flinch chance. The big question in my mind right now still is, what is Necrozma's set? If it's especially defensive Necrozma, it can do pretty decently versus Majin Buu, I think. But the surprise is probably one of its biggest assets. We're just going to have to see when it comes in. Looks like we have a philosophical question here. What is stronger, the concrete that Conkeldurr has or the iron beams that Conkeldurr has, because it looks like holding an iron beam the way Girder does is way more impressive than holding a concrete the way Conkeldurr does, so the evolution is pretty impressive. I think he means Girder in that second part. So Aerith comes in taking that air slash. Ice Beam's going to do some decent damage to Dream Fetus, who comes in now holding leftovers, and Trick Room is ready to be set up, but Aerith is pretty capable in Trick Room as well, so something that is going to have to be taken into consideration. Blacklight comes in and the Trick Room is up. Dream Fetus at 75%, ready to... Well, I'm not sure what it's going to do against Blacklight. We only know it has Trick Room. Maybe it has Moonlight as well. We don't know what the other two moves are. Well, probably Psychic. Not sure what the last one is. Maybe Shadow Ball. But Blacklight is very capable Pokemon, and it can stall out the Trick Room pretty easily. Musharna actually goes for the Moonlight, and we see a Z move from Blacklight. It's a Black Hole Eclipse. It's going to bring Musharna down to a whopping 6%, 13 after leftovers. Of course, Musharna can recover again with Moonlight. It does have limited PP, only 7 left, so that's something that Ember's going to have to be very careful of. It looks like Morgana really wanted to bring down that Musharna, considering that the Trick Rooms are very beneficial to Ember. Musharna barely holding on with just 13%. Can it survive a Dark Pulse? We'll see. Blacklight goes for the Dark Pulse. It brings Musharna down to 9%. Does 54, so it is recovering a little bit more than it's losing, but that Trick Room is also running out. Ember's in a tough position here. He does not want to lose that Musharna to set up some more Trick Rooms. The Trick Room turns are running out. Two bulky Psychic types in Trick Room. Dream Fetus the Musharna a little bit faster. Goes for the Dazzling Gleam to try and take out Blacklight, and the Photon Geyser is going to take out Dream Fetus. There is one more turn of Trick Room left. I'm guessing we'll see X-Cloud come in to try to break through Blacklight with a Boom Burst. Indeed we do. THX, the X-Cloud comes in. A Boom Burst will hit anything really hard, maybe even taking it down. Nothing wants to get hit by an X-Cloud Boom Burst, but it will struggle after this Trick Room goes away. And the Boom Burst does take down Blacklight, and the score is 4-5. Trick Room is now gone. At 100%, Morgana's going to have to decide what Pokemon he wants to send in versus X-Cloud. A very dangerous matchup because those Boom Bursts really hurt. Looks like Gunkerton, the Mega Garchomp, comes in, and Stealth Rock actually is what goes up. Boom Burst going to bring it down to 3%. Gunkerton barely hanging on. It can pull off a move before it dies. Looks like the Iron Head is what it decides to go for, and the Boom Burst takes it down. No flinch luck for Morgana this time around. I think we'll see either Gengar or Zeraora come in. More likely Gengar, I think, as he's going to want to hold on to that Zeraora being Choice Scarf. Score is 4-4. Gengar still does have a relatively decent matchup. It's just going to have to be very careful of Crocodile. If it's Focus Sashed, it can survive a Crocodile hit and then retaliate with a strong Dazzling Gleam, for example. But it looks like Conkeldurr is actually the one who comes in. Will it be able to handle a Boom Burst from Exploud? Maybe it outspeeds. Oh, it actually goes for the Mach Punch, and that's going to take down Exploud. And the score is 3-4 now. Nothing really is super comfortable versus Dunban except Tornadus. It will take some Stealth Rock damage coming in. Nothing really wants to switch into Tornadus, but Breloom is actually the one who comes in, maybe to go for a Spore on Dunban. And indeed, we do see that Spore. Dunban now fast asleep. The Bullet Seed is going to hit, taking down Dunban in 2 hits, and Breloom takes some damage from that Life Orb as well. I think you will see Gengar come in. The score is 3-3, with Emberhoof having the advantage on HP. Skull the Gengar comes in. Most likely we'll see a Sludge Wave. Breloom Larson is hit by the Sludge Wave and it goes down. The score is now 2-3. If Skull has a Focus Sash, this could be it. A Dazzling Gleam might be enough to take down Liability. We did not see any Life Orb damage on Gengar, so it is very possible that there can be a Choice Scarf attached to Gengar. Sorry, not a Choice Scarf, a Focus Sash. We did see Liability, the Crocodile, survive a close combat from Gengar. Sorry, from Zeraora, but can it survive the Dazzling Gleam from Skull, the Gengar? This is the moment of truth. Right now, Tornadus is at 100%. And the Earthquake is going to hit Skull, but it is holding a Focus Sash. Gengar goes for the Sludge Wave. It's only going to do a little bit of damage, taking it down to 60%. Really thought that we'd see a Dazzling Gleam coming from Gengar. And the Earthquake takes down Skull the Gengar as Liability gets that Moxie boost. It's likely we'll see Zeraora. We do see Zeraora come in to go for that close combat. Will we see Liability switch out into Tornadus? This is it. This is the game. Oh, and it looks like close combat does hit Liability, and Jet Setter will be brought down to 1% from the Toxic. Tornadus comes in. Jet Setter is locked into close combat. It's going to have to switch out if it wants to be able to hit a Plasma Fist, and it does. Aerith comes in, and the Air Slash hits, bringing it down to 13%, and Majin Buu at 82% now. Another Air Slash takes down Aerith as Majin Buu sits at a comfortable 88%, but Zeraora could outspeed and go for the Plasma Fist. This is a crazy matchup. The Plasma Fist hits, and down goes Majin Buu, and the score is 1-0 for Morgana and Northern Necrozmas over Emberhoof and Rio Grande Rapidash. An incredible set! What a crazy match at 1%, and Toxic Zeraora manages to clinch this one in a 1-0 score. Morgana manages to clinch this one over Emberhoof. What an intense set so far. We have seen such crazy stuff. This last battle sure is going to be a good one. And wow, So we are going to be going to a battle number 3 in this set. 3 will determine all. Stay tuned for that one. It's sure to be very exciting. Until then, this is Noel from Sun and Friendly, and I'll see you in that one.